your expectations for what you can do in Los Angeles. I know that you want to use this term to obviously pull the city out of recession or the effects of the recession. And I was wondering how you would measure that. I mean, we see, I think, 13% unemployment now. Is that one of the key measures you think that you want to change in this term?
Without question, bringing down the unemployment rate, creating jobs is got to be the priority in these tough economic times. In addition to that, I've got to continue to balance the budget. I've cut more than $1 billion out of our general fund in deficit spending. We had a $457 million budget deficit this year. I believe we'll balance that budget, and I put a proposed budget to the City Council that does that. It calls for making sure that our pension costs are stabilized by asking our employees to pay more for their retiree health. In fact, substantially more, from 0.7 to 11% contribution. It calls for cuts in services, but keeping our police department at current levels, are expanding library services and making sure that we're repairing our streets at a level that's necessary. It's a tough budget, but one that will be balanced.
Mayor, do you think that the contributions the unions have made now in order to help prop up retiree benefits and health care is going to be enough? I mean, is this going to be enough to sustain budgets going forward, or will there still have to be work done?
Well, first of all, it is a landmark agreement. About the coalition of unions represents about 19,000 of our civilian employees. About 15,000 of them actually approved the agreement. So for them, yes, this was a landmark for both employees and us, because they got to buy back some 42 days of furloughs, and we get the pension reform and a higher pension contribution from our employees. It's actually a template for other cities across the country, and I think it's why this agreement has been covered all around the nation.
What about the tax side? What about the tax side of your budget? I mean, I know that you have had voters agree to tax increases for certain things like transportation. Are you happy with the tax code in Los Angeles? Do you feel like it is where it needs to be?
Because of the economy, I decided that we weren't going to raise taxes to balance this budget over the last couple of years. There's not a stomach for it among the electorate. They want to see that we're going to make the tough decisions. The half-penny sales tax that you're referring to is a county initiative. I spearheaded it. It's for transportation alone, so it doesn't affect the city budget. And it essentially will generate about $40 billion over the next 30 years, double the size of the rail system, repair our highways, our bridges in the city, and really leverage a few 100,000 jobs. We're actually using that as a template as well for a thing called America Fast Forward, where we're saying that the federal government ought to expand current transportation loan programs to incentivize cities like ours, who are actually putting up their own money to invest in infrastructure and create jobs. So that's another part of our job creation program, but it's separate and apart from the city's budget.
Where do you expect, by the way, unemployment to be? I mean, 13% is still higher, obviously, than the national average. Where would you like to see it when you leave office?
Well, I'd like to see it where it was when this recession began, about 8%. But the fact is, the economists speculate that we'll be able to take it down maybe 1.5% to 2 points by the time I'm out of here, which is July of 2013. I hope we can do a lot better than that, but we're going to need a lot of help from the federal government. We're going to have to get away from the brinksmanship that you see and hear in the Beltway. That debt limit debate will only and refusing to raise the debt limit will only impact our economy even more seriously. And so my hope is that there will be some support on the part of the federal government for cities, not to bail us out, but to help us create jobs so that we can generate the revenue we need to balance our budgets.
Let me ask you about this term for you, because you can't run for mayor again because of term limits there. Do you feel like you can do things now that you couldn't do in your last term because you don't have to fight another campaign going forward?
No, I don't. I'll tell you, I've been making tough decisions from the moment I was elected. When you're in a job like this, you got to be able to call them like you see them. I took on education reform very early in this administration. I took on some of my friends. I've challenged the status quo. I've said that we could do better for our kids. We're continuing in that effort to raising the issue of seniority and tenure reform, pension reform now. No, I've been doing this from the beginning, and I'll continue to do this till the last day I'm here. People elect you to make tough decisions, not to be popular. We all want to be popular, but in these tough times, you got to focus on doing the right thing.
All right, Mayor, thanks so much for joining us. Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa there.